Hey guys, welcome to this video and my channel. My name is Heather. I'm the owner and creator here at Wicked Whiskey Designs. I am over caffeinated this morning, I promise. This is probably take number 527 on this intro, so we're gonna hope for the best and hope to get through this one. I am bringing to you today this dark purple floral tumbler. This is so much fun to make. They are so easy. They look horribly complicated, but they're really not. I was inspired by Brittany Barnes' boutique. Her tumblers are amazing. She does crazy, gorgeous stuff. And I just wanted to see if I could kind of take the same design element and run with it in a way that spoke to me. I am not a floral person at all. I'm a Venus flytrap girl, but not a floral person. So being able to tweak some things and bring in the dark flowers and the dark and moody, aesthetic of this speaks to me. This makes me happy. So I will link down below all of the products that I've used. So if you want to make this exact tumbler, you know where to find everything you need to make that. I'm going to share with you all my tips and tricks so that you can make this tumbler as easy as possible and as perfect as possible. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This is a brand new channel, and when I say brand new, I mean brand spanking new. So definitely subscribe because we have a lot of stuff on the way. I think that pretty much wraps up this intro. I think this one might actually make it. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you everything you need to go ahead and make this tumbler. Now let's get started. As always, you want to go ahead and sand down your cup and wipe it down with alcohol. You will then go ahead and spray paint your cup white. And what we're going to do after applying about 15 mLs of epoxy, you're going to go ahead and start adding in your glitter. I have 4 glitters I am using to create the glitter base for our peekaboo. You just want to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit here and a little bit there, and so that way you have a nice mix of all glitters on your cup. Whether or not you do more than 4 colors is totally up to you. I just tried to pick colors that I knew would give off different sparkle effects, and I also use different cuts. So some are fine, some are a little bit thicker, a little bit chunkier. Either way, they're all going to sparkle and shine bright like little diamonds, which is what we're looking for. Once that first coat of epoxy has cured, go ahead and add 1, possibly 2 more coats on top of your glitter just to lock that all in. You're looking for a smooth finish so you can move on to your decals. Let's talk about decals. The initial ones that I chose were very tiny and detailed, and when I tried to cut them, they just absolutely ripped up. And I realized that was not how we needed to go. So I went ahead and went with a larger decal. You'll see where this initial one versus the second one. The first one has a lot of details. The second one has a much wider outline to it, and that's what we're looking for. So go ahead and you want to pick that line decal that you like. You're going to go ahead and duplicate it. You're going to change the sizes a bit. You're going to, flip them in different directions. You want the same idea of a decal, but you don't want it all to look the same, if you know what I mean. So like I said, do some horizontal, do some vertical, do some a little smaller, do some a little larger. Until you actually place all of these on your cups, you're not really working with a set size. You are looking for something that's going to be a couple of inches big, up to maybe 3 or 4, depending on how you want to design your tumbler. I knew that I was going to be putting something in the middle, top, some kind of a saying or something along those lines, but I really hadn't locked down the design yet. My hands are a mess, exclamation point. I apologize for that. I had a paint cup order that I was doing while I was making this tumbler, so my hands are a mess. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, cut your decal out using 631 vinyl. This is a removable vinyl that will not leave very much adhesive behind once you pull it up from your tumbler, and you definitely do not want to use regular 651 vinyl because you're going to be fighting with that. So go ahead and weed out your design. You want just the outline of the design you chose. You're not trying to have a lot of filled in space. You want that outline only. Once you go ahead and do that, grab a piece of transfer tape and either stick it to your clothes a few times to get most of the adhesive off, and you're going to go ahead and use that to pick up your decal. You want something very delicate. You're not trying to lay this down and rip things up. So be sure to use a piece of transfer tape that is not nearly as sticky as you normally would like. Okay guys, I have taken off the big circle. I didn't want that on there when I spray painted. I don't really know yet what I'm putting on there. I kind of have a general idea, but kind of winging it on this one. But obviously I did leave the other decals. We're going to spray paint, and then we're going to go ahead and take these decals up so that the pattern is made out of the glitter underneath it. I am in the mood for a black cup. So I am using Black Gloss Rust-Oleum 2X. My husband swears by the flat black. To me, this is blacker. So if I want like a crazy black spray paint, crazy black cup, I'm going to go with the gloss, even though it takes longer to dry. So if you're looking for a better black, go for the gloss. To spray paint in short, light bursts, so that way your paint does not run. Now comes the fun part. Now, in my tips and tricks section, I told you to always wear gloves. That is true. My left hand has a glove on it. I know that I've done enough of these to where I know to keep my hand off of the cup when I'm pulling up the decal. If I'm wearing a glove in that particular hand, I'm not going to be able to do everything I need to do. That's just me being uncoordinated. So plan accordingly based on what your capabilities are. If you're better at this than I am, basically take your craft knife. You're going to go ahead and pull up every single little bit of that decal you laid down. Definitely make sure you're not touching the cup. Definitely make sure you're not adding glitter or anything else. And then once you are all done, it looks gorgeous. Go ahead and move that to your spinner. Mix up about 15 mLs of epoxy. Go ahead and lay that down. That's going to be your base coat just to seal all of that spray paint and everything down. Next, you're going to want to add your floral decals. You, again, want to grab transfer tape that is not crazy sticky. So grab your transfer tape and, hit it against your clothes a couple times to get some of that adhesive off. These decals do not need to be sealed, but you do need to be ginger with them. You need to be delicate with them. So don't get all crazy and think that you're not going to rip up some color if you start getting all aggressive. Go ahead and place them where you want. This is completely up to you. Be sure to weed out the negative space depending on the floral design you decide to choose. And also, I decided to add a little decal saying liquid patience because that's pretty much where my mood was at the time. You want to go ahead, and I'll include something in regards to where to find that, or you can just make it on your Cricut or your silhouette, or add whatever it is that you want. I did a double decal, and again, you want to go ahead and use the transfer tape. This one you don't have to be overly delicate with. Just go ahead and make sure that you have left enough space on your cup. If you wanted to add some kind of a saying or something cute, just be sure you leave that blank area available before, don't add flowers everywhere and then try to figure out where the heck you're going to put this. So basically, I just go ahead and line that up as best as I can while trying to work around a tripod and a camera and hope it's straight. Go ahead and take off that transfer tape. Make sure that's on there pretty secure. And then go ahead. I wanted to add little flowers to each of the corners. There's no right or wrong answers to where these flowers are going. It's really just what you like. You are the one who's making this beautiful piece of tumbler magic, so to speak. So whatever makes you happy, just run with it. I really just wanted something dark and moody and, not so bright and cheerful, because if this is where my morning coffee is going to get drank from, I'm not ready for bright and cheerful that early in the morning. So this is the part where, like I said, you're going to go ahead and weed out all of the negative space on those decals. You don't want to, you want to work it all the way around the cup. You don't want to bunch up those decals too much. You want everything to kind of have a real nice flow, and use as little or as many of these as you want. I kind of wanted to add quite a bit. I couldn't decide what flowers I like best, so I pretty much just used them all. And that was totally okay with me. Go ahead and trim that top off. Make sure that you're leaving yourself enough room to go ahead and sand all that top down. You're going to want to go ahead and definitely sand everything down to the rim so that you have stainless there. It gives your epoxy something to hold on to, and that is a really important point. Without that, you're running the risk of your epoxy being able to just, peel up from that lip, and that's never a good thing. Next, you're going to take your craft knife and run that around the rim of your cup, just to pull off any of epoxy that may have fallen over that rim. And you're going to take your sanding block and you're going to go aggressive around that edge. You want to expose the stainless steel at the very top so that it gives your epoxy something to hold onto, and it'll fully seal that cup. Accidentally edited out the part where I showed you to go ahead and seal your tumbler with clear coat just to be on the safe side. I always add a little shimmer additive to the final coat of epoxy, and I literally just scoop a little bit in. Mix up about 30 ml since this is a 30 skinny, and just apply generously. Hit that with your torch. Make sure you are getting all those micro bubbles. And that's pretty much all you have to worry about doing. Your tumbler is done. Tips and tricks. Let's see. Tips and tricks. Okay, number one. I almost said I am a chunky girl. I am. But I am a chunky glitter girl. I love my chunky glitter. When it comes to making something like this, you can use chunky glitter, but just understand you're probably going to have to add an extra coat or two of epoxy to get that smooth finish that you need before you start laying down your decals. Use your decision tree on that. I'm not here to judge. I like using, I'm okay with fine glitter, some of it. I use a mix, as you have seen or will see in the video. I like to mix up the different colors and cuts and things like that so that you get different types of sparkle depending on how you move that cup around. If you're a glitter girl, you know what I'm saying when I say that. Keep in mind that when you get to the point where you are going to spray paint this, after you spray paint it, be sure to wear gloves every time you touch it until you get to where you're putting that coat of epoxy over it to seal it in. The reason is this. Yes, your paint is dry, okay? It's still going to pick up every tiny little speck of everything. Dog hair, glitter, dust. Ask me how I know, says the mom of 4 dogs. Ask me how I know. Now, as previously mentioned, black is the superhero of the paint world. It hides everything, and you really don't have to worry about it so much. If you get glitter or you get something on there, you take your little paint pen, dab it, you're done. But if you're doing white, pink, blue, purple, anything, especially white, if you have glitter on your hand and you touch it, that glitter's there for now. You're going to have to put a decal over it or do something because you're not going to get it off. So just keep in mind, once you spray paint it, make sure you wear your gloves. What else? Another thing, the printable vinyl that I have linked down below is awesome. You do not have to seal it, okay? You don't have to seal it. I've never had to, but it likes bubbles. So when you put it on your tumbler, you don't have to seal it. You put it on your tumbler, put your epoxy, and it could just be my epoxy. It's going to bubble like harsh. So what I do is before I put that epoxy on, I seal the entire cup. I would just suggest doing that just to be on the safe side, because you really don't want to make this beautiful tumbler and then you look and here's all your 14,000 micro bubbles. Even though you torch them out, they come back. So keep that in mind. Any tips and tricks? Anything else? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions after watching this, obviously leave your questions in down below, and I'll get back with you ASAP. Or if you want to shoot me a message, just shoot me a message. But these are a lot of fun to make. You can do so much with this. You can change your flowers. You can change your, this part, that part. Definitely go for a design element for the peekaboo part. Do not pick something micro and crazy detailed. Okay, just don't. Make your life easy, because you want those outlines to be thick enough to where when you pull them, you can see what it is. You'll see, again, if you haven't already seen it, you will, where my initial design idea was like this really beautiful little intricate design, and it would have been out, I couldn't even cut it. Like, it would have been a nightmare to try to peekaboo that out. So make your life easy. Find a design where you have a thick border and you don't have to go, way into being crazy with the actual weeding part of it. I lost my thought on that. Over caffeinated. Did I tell you I'm on like my second 30-ounce cup of coffee of the day? Over caffeinated. Anyway, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, or you need help with anything, like I said, drop me a message or leave it in the comments below. Hope you have a good time. Thanks.